everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the NJACAC Virtual College Exploration with StriveScan. We are excited to have you. Just a few housekeeping. Please keep in mind that you can ask questions through the Q&A feature. Type your question into the box and our presenters will definitely acknowledge it in either out loud or they will respond back to you. Also, keep in mind that your cameras are off and your microphones are off, so we cannot see or hear you. So the Q&A box is the best way for you to communicate. If you're interested in any other sessions, please see the website. There are still sessions tonight and tomorrow, and this will be recorded. So if you needed to go back and watch it again because you missed something, or if there's another opportunity in college that you wanted to check out but you missed it, you will be able to see it online. So I'm going to hand it over to our presenters and enjoy.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our presentation tonight. We're really excited to tell you a little bit more about Marywood University, and we have a couple guest speakers here with us, our admissions ambassadors. So I will go ahead and get started. I'll introduce myself. My name is Sarah Polinchak. I'm an admission counselor. I'm one of 2 admissions counselors that works with students in the state of New Jersey. So as you can see below, I have students in the counties of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cape May, Cumberland, Gloucester, and Salem counties. And I will hand it off to my colleague Maria to introduce herself, and then we will introduce our ambassadors as well.
Hi everybody, my name is Maria Temples. I'm an undergraduate admissions counselor here at Marywood. As you can see, I am the admissions counselor for Northern and Central New Jersey. And then also I graduated Marywood with my undergrad degree and my grad degree, so I'll talk a little bit about that too. And if you have any questions from that student perspective, I can help out with Carson and Lexi. So I'm gonna hand it over to introduce our students.
Everyone, I'm Lexi. I am a senior computer science and information security major. I am involved in a couple different clubs and organizations around campus. I am actually the current Student Government Association president, and I am the vice president for one of the 2 local sororities on campus, Alpha Sigma Psi. I'm also involved as a work study student as well, so I work in the admissions office as an admissions ambassador, so I give tours and do other duties surrounding around the admissions process. So I'm involved in there. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And then I'm also a tutor in the tutoring center here on campus as well.
Hi everybody, I'm Carson. I'm a senior interior architecture and art history major. I'm involved in a couple different clubs on campus, ranging from Student Government Association. I'm the Greek Council Chair for Zeta Phi Delta. I am in the International Interior Design Association. I'm the social media coordinator for our sketch club on Marywood campus. I'm in Women in Architecture, and I've been involved in orientation as an orientation leader and a team leader.
Awesome. So we'll get started. Just some general fast facts about Marywood. So our total population is about 3,000 students, 1,900 of those being undergraduate students. The really great thing about Marywood is because we have a smaller population, that means your classes are smaller. You'll get more individual attention from your professors. And as you can see, that holds true because we have a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Our average class sizes are about 30 to 35 for your liberal arts and general education classes, and then major classes about 20 to 25. All of our classes are capped at 35, which is really nice. Again, holds true to the student to faculty ratio, which is really nice. You can get personalized attention. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, teachers will know your name, so you can take that for what it's worth. Both our first-year retention rates and our 6-year graduation rates are higher than the national average. You'll see it's 86.1% and then 67.5%. And we're really happy to share that 99.7% of the class of 2019 is either employed in their field of study or they are pursuing graduate studies at either Marywood or perhaps another school. Something you'll hear a few times during this presentation, and should you choose to come to Marywood for an on-campus tour, is that we are a day one school, and that's something that we really pride ourselves on. So that means that you'll get exposure to your major your very first semester or year as a freshman. Many students at other schools will take general education courses their first 2 years, and then they'll get into their major their third or fourth year maybe. Whereas at Marywood, you'll get into those classes right from the very beginning, and your general education courses are mixed in with your major courses. So that's really nice. You get started right away. As you can see, the examples on this screen are just a handful of different experiences that our students get to participate in right away. Aviation fly in the first semester, nutrition students, they have a cooking fundamentals class their first semester, and a ton of other things too. So if you have any questions regarding, a major that you're interested in and you want to see how you would be exposed to your major your very first semester or year, definitely reach out to your admissions counselor and we'd be happy to share that information with you. We have over 50 different majors to choose from at Marywood, so there's really an option for everyone.
Student life on campus. So we have over 100 clubs and organizations on campus. They range from departmental clubs to service-based clubs and faith-based clubs to gaming clubs and social clubs. So there's a lot of ways to get involved. As we heard from Carson and Lexi, they're involved in a lot of things. So student government, orientation. I know when I was a student, I was involved in campus ministry. So actually I wanted to ask Carson and Lexi, what are you guys involved in? Do you want to talk a little bit in depth about how you guys got involved and the opportunities that you've been involved in on campus?
Yeah, so getting involved on campus is actually super easy. I was involved in several clubs, even beginning my first semester freshman year. Typically at the beginning of every semester, they'll hold an involvement fair, and that's where all the clubs and orgs can come out and kind of table. You can get to walk around, see, put faces to club names, things like that. Really just get to mingle and meet new people. So getting involved is super easy, and there is a club for every activity and interest and hobby. And it is really nice because the Marywood community, just everyone on campus, is really welcoming. So you never really have to be afraid of joining a new club or kind of branching out and trying something new. And I always say, as a student who is involved, as a student who in high school was not as involved as I am in college, I think it's really important to actually get involved in things outside of your academics. I think it actually has helped me focus on my time more equally, I would say. But it is actually statistically proven that students who are more involved on campus do tend to be better students rounded out in general. So I always suggest at least joining one club or something while at college.
Yeah, so the same thing kind of along the lines of Lexi. I'm involved in a lot on campus. I actually didn't get involved until towards the end of my freshman year is when I rushed my sorority, and that was kind of the first thing and dipping my toes in the water. My sophomore year, however, though, I signed up for anything and everything. I've been anywhere from a vice president to a president, social media coordinator, or just a general member of some type of club on Marywood campus. I'm definitely a sucker for major clubs. I'm involved in a lot from the Interior Design Association, and I think it's really important too when you go to look for jobs, and especially with resume building and internships, to kind of have a lot of that under your belt. And the greatest part about Marywood is if a club and organization is on campus or not on campus that you want to be on campus, it's really easy to start a club. This past year we had created Sketch Club and kind of revamped it, me and 3 other girls in my major. It was super easy. All we needed to do was get a club advisor and a couple of people to know that they're going to join. And we got the money and the funding and got approved to be a club on campus. So it's really easy to kind of gauge and do what you want to do on campus. Even if there's not a club for you, you can start one on your own.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your input. I also like to point out for getting involved in a smaller institution, it's easy to get leadership opportunities and get involved in leadership opportunities. So I know both of you are involved in student government associations, so that's a really great way to get involved. And at Marywood, what's really cool is our student government has a real voice, and they do a lot of advocacy and a lot of awareness on campus, and they really speak for the students, which is cool. So interested in an institution that, you can get really involved in a few things, and also get some leadership opportunities, Marywood could be a good fit for you. So fun on campus. So we have a wide variety of activities. We have a Marywood Activities Council that plans and runs events. So there's students who plan and run events for other students on campus. Believe it or not, bingo is actually one of our largest events on campus. Like 300 or 400 students come out to the bingos. They're always themed, have high ticket prizes. And even with the pandemic going on, they've moved trivia nights and bingos online, so our students can still be engaged virtually. We also have game shows and make your own food events. And this semester we had socially distant goat yoga outside. So there's always a lot of fun things going on campus. We also have some pretty big events like carnivals. We always have a farewell frenzy in April at the end of the spring semester. We have a flapjack fest that happens at the last Monday of the semester, where your professors flip pancakes for you. There's free t-shirts and music. And then we always have a big, Marywood Madness pep rally and a homecoming formal off campus. So there's always a lot going on. Carson and Lexi, what are some of your favorite events that you've been to on campus?
My favorite event is always the Flapjack Fest, because it's like the perfect night to come out and like de-stress right before finals start. They always have like a live performance from either a student group, and again, the professors are all there kind of making breakfast foods for you, and it's nice just to get out and mingle again right before finals. And they always serve like the best breakfast foods too, so it's always one of my favorite events.
So my favorite event is actually one that we just started on campus last year. Me and a couple of other students in the School of Architecture, with the help of Student Government Association, create an annual Christmas light show, and we got to build lights, and we set it up on our post office here on campus. It was really great to watch the community come out, and it was really nice, kind of like a good farewell send-off at the end of our fall semester when we go home for Christmas. And it's definitely one of my favorite events that we are having this year as well, so I'm really excited.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so fun off campus. So my favorite thing about Marywood is it's kind of tucked in this quiet residential section of Scranton. There's lots of green space on campus, very safe. But we're about 10 minutes from downtown Scranton and about 10 and 15 minutes from a lot of different activities that are going on in the community. So there's always a festival happening or a parade in downtown Scranton, kind of in that city square. My favorite is La Festa. It happens every Labor Day weekend. It's Italian food and culture all weekend. It didn't happen this year, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for 2021. But they always have tons of different food festivals and parades. We have the marketplace at Steamtown that's downtown that has an aquarium. There's a movie theater, lots of local coffee shops and local restaurants, boutiques. And then also, kind of in another direction, 10 minutes in another direction is Dixon City. So that's a lot of your chain stores, your Walmart, your Target, your mall, chain restaurants. And then we have Montage Mountain. So that's skiing, snowboarding, snow tubing in the winter, concert venue and water park in the summer. The AAA Yankee affiliate team, the Rail Riders, play there. I always say I saw Judge play there the week before he got moved to the Yankees, and I kicked myself so hard that I didn't get his autograph. But it's always fun going to those games, and it's really inexpensive. So I want to ask Carson and Alexi, what are some of your favorite things to do off campus and in the community?
I love going to all of the local coffee shops they have in downtown Scranton or even Dunmore. There's this really, really, really awesome little cafe in Dunmore called Henry's on Clay. And I'm a sucker for eating there every week. I love it there. They have such a cool vibe. But there are actually just a bunch of different cool local shops right around Scranton. So it is really nice to get out into the community and actually get to support some of the local businesses. But like Maria said, there is an option for everything. So if you want to go and shop small or local, there's options for that. If you also like your chain restaurants or chain stores, they have those here too. So there really is something for everyone outside the community or outside of campus and in the community.
So my favorite stuff to do off campus is definitely go to the coffee shops. But my favorite event that Scranton holds is they call it Parade Day, and it's one of the biggest Irish not like festival, but like a parade. And it's really, really fun. And it's nice to see like all my friends and like my family comes up, and it's really, really great. And I'm from an Irish heritage, so I love it. But it's also the weekend of my birthday too. So it's always a good time to kind of hang out and have fun and get to like eat and like see everybody. And I'm hoping they have it again this year. It's always a good time.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. All right, so Marywood also has off-campus bus trips. They happen typically about once a month, and that Marywood Activities Council is the group that puts them on. And so because it's included in your tuition, the student activities fee is included in your tuition, these trips are nothing out of pocket for you. So you can kind of just sign up and go. So as you can see, we've gone to New York, Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Flower Show, King of Prussia Mall, amusement parks. You know, we've done themed ones where we've gone to Eastern State Penitentiary during Halloween time, drive-in movies, whitewater rafting, hiking, sporting events. So there's always a lot going on. So I want to ask Lexi and Carson, have you guys gone on them? And if so, what have been your favorite ones?
So I've gone to a couple different off-campus events. Usually these trips are actually a little harder to book tickets for because they are so popular around all campus. But I have been to Dorney Park. I've been to Hershey Park. I've been to, I'm trying to think of some other ones. They do like different zoo trips, and I've been to one of those before. And they are definitely a lot of fun. It is really nice. You don't have to worry about your own transportation. And the trip is paid for you pretty much. Obviously, you have to, like, your ticket's paid, so you have to bring like money for food or something, but that's not too bad. I mean, compared to the cost of it before that, it's definitely a lot cheaper. And it is really nice because you can go with a group of your friends and spend the day somewhere. And then again, you don't have to worry about transporting yourself home. You can just get right into the bus with all the rest of your Marywood friends as well.
So I had gone on one of the zoo trips that Lexi had talked about, and it was really, really fun. A group of like me and my closest friends got to go, and it was really a good experience, like getting down there, coming back, and we got to like play with baby kangaroos, so it was really, really fun. And I also got to go to a water park through like one of the Marywood bus trips, and it was a lot of fun. We went to Montage Mountain actually, which is pretty close to here. And we got to like go and spend the day there and hang out. We got lunch, and it was really, really fun. And really like easy on our part because all we had to do was get on the bus and then come home on the bus.
Awesome, thanks for sharing. I know when I was a student, my favorite was every single December we go to New York City and they drop you off at Rockefeller Center. So I always loved signing up for that one. They usually grab a few extra buses because it's such a popular trip. And then I, would go down to the Chelsea market, and it was always a lot of fun. So I always signed up for that one when I was a student. All right, so study abroad. So there's tons of different opportunities on campus to study abroad. We kind of have those traditional semester-long placements that I'm going to be asking Carson in a minute to chat about a little bit because she knows a lot about the semester-long placements. And so some are built into programs. So for nutrition and dietetics, if you do the nutrition and dietetics with a Spanish minor, you actually get to study in Costa Rica for one semester, and it's built into the program. There's other majors that are a little bit more structured, so it could be harder to do an entire semester. And so I actually had a friend who was art therapy when she was at Marywood. Her semesters were a little bit more structured, but she spent 2 summers studying abroad. And so one summer she went to Florence, one summer she went to Austria. She was able to take art classes and also kind of have that study, the long-term study abroad, but it was over the summer. We have faculty-led trips, and so they're typically tied to a different class. So we have the chemistry of wine and cheese, where you get to learn about the chemistry of wine and cheese in a science class. And then during spring break, you actually get to travel in Europe and learn about the wine and cheese over there. And I always like to mention too, they have our multimedia communications department typically has like a travel writing class that you can take. And then they typically go over to Ireland and you get to have experience travel writing while you're over there during spring break. I always also like to mention our alternative break trips, and they're run through campus ministry. Our campus ministry is really robust, but one of the things that they do is they plan a handful of mission trips, and so you kind of immerse yourself into the issues and the culture of wherever you're going, and then you're able to go do service in make a real difference. So we have local ones that you can go to, so more like a Philadelphia or a Pittsburgh or New York. When I was Nashville. I know people who've gone to Miami. I know in recent years we've done a lot down to the border, so in Texas and in Arizona. And then I actually went with them to Guatemala twice. They always run trips to Guatemala, and that's another really great opportunity. There's a medical mission trip to Guatemala, so if you're in that medical profession field and it's a little bit harder to study abroad for an entire semester, you might be able to go to, on an alternative break trip and help out that way and get to travel abroad. So I'm going to turn it over to Carson because I know she has some experience with this. And get her perspective.
So I was studying abroad in Florence, Italy, from January 1st of 2020, and then unfortunately I had to come home a little bit early because of COVID-19. But the overall experience of studying abroad is definitely something I promote to anybody. Even if you don't have a major specific study abroad placement, I definitely recommend going on an alternative break trip or a summer trip. I was placed in Florence, Italy, and I lived right next to Santa Croce, which is the resting place of Michelangelo, and it's also a church. I was very fortunate to be able to study not only architecture, but my art history classes over there as well. And I went to another university while I was over there, which is our International Institute of Florence, ISI. Or International Study Abroad Institute, oh my gosh. And I was very, very fortunate to study with Italian architecture professors, Franco, he is amazing, and Stefano, as well as studying abroad with some of the most amazing history professors in the world. And I got to go on like small trips to Paris and Pisa and other places in Italy. We had the weekend off, so Friday to Sunday, we had a long weekend every week. And that way we could go travel and experience cultures in Italy or other cultures. And I actually ended up getting an internship to the ISI Institute, and I'll be working with their architecture department. So that's a great way to also kind of get your name out over in other countries and try and find jobs over there as well. But yeah, it was a really great experience. I had a lot of fun. I got to see and experience and meet a whole bunch of new people. I met some celebrities over there, so you just never know where you'll end up being when you get over there and like your experience.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so athletics. So I'm just going to touch upon this. So we are a D3 school, which means that we have a really great kind of academic sport balance on campus. So if you're really interested in doing well in your major or having a tougher major, and then also really competing in your sport, you would be able to find that at Marywood. As you can see, we have so many different athletic opportunities, but Marywood's actually won awards because our athletes have such high GPAs. Our coaches really focus on study halls and making sure that the students keep their grades up. And kind of on the flip side, our professors work really hard to make sure that if you have an away game, that they can reschedule a test or, make up a class time. So everybody's really flexible. And I always like to say, it's not just professors, even our dining hall. If the dining hall's open till 7 and you don't come back from an away game until 7:30, the dining hall's going to stay open to make sure that you can get your food. So, but that's kind of a major perk of a small institution that's like a D3 school, just because, we have that flexibility so you can compete in your sport and also pursue your academics to your fullest ability.
So now we're just going to talk a little bit about the admissions process. So Marywood University does have a rolling admissions policy. So that means you can apply really whenever you want. The only deadline that we have is for our speech and language pathology program, which is May 1st. Other than that, we are very flexible. So you can apply now if you want to, or you could wait until July to apply if you want to. We definitely recommend sooner rather than later, but like I said, you can apply when you want, and then you'll hear back from us on a rolling basis. So usually when we get all the materials that we need from you, you'll hear back from us in about 7 to 10 business days. So in order for your application to be complete, obviously you'll need to apply. We take the Common Application or the Marywood app. Both of them are free. We don't have a preference, whatever one is easier for you. In addition to your completed app, we will need your high school transcript, which your guidance counselor can send over. They can feel free to email it to us, send it in the mail, via Naviance, really whatever is good for them. And SAT and ACT scores for fall 2021 applicants are waived. So you do not have to submit them if you don't want to. If you were not able to take them, obviously then you don't have to submit them. If you're unhappy with your score, you don't have to submit them. So if you want to work with your admissions counselor, which would be either me or Maria, we can kind of, work through that process and let you know what the next steps are as far as that goes. And one letter of recommendation, you only need one. You can submit as many as you want to, but we really only need that one for your application to be considered complete. And then, like I said, once we get everything from you, Maria or I will review your application, and then you'll hear back from us pretty quickly via the PACER portal, which is an online tool that we're now using for our students to access their application, their acceptance letter, and their scholarship letter as well, which I will talk about right now. So we offer a lot of scholarships for our freshmen. These range from $16,000 to $23,000 per year. So these scholarships are good for every year you're at Marywood as an undergraduate student. So we were talking about a little bit before some of our programs that may be 5 years, an accelerated bachelor's to master's program. These scholarships would only be good for the undergraduate portion of those programs. So when you're accepted to Marywood, like I mentioned, you'll get your acceptance letter, and then the other thing that you'll receive would be your scholarship letter. In the scholarship letter, it will tell you what kind of GPA you need to maintain, things like that. But like I said, it's automatically applied. And this does not interfere with any financial aid that you would receive from the FAFSA. So this is anything, and then you would get FAFSA in addition to that. Other scholarship opportunities that we offer, Maxis Gillet is $2,500 annually. It's outstanding service to the community. So if you're doing work with your high school or a youth group or through your church, and you feel that you would want to apply for this, all the information is on our website. You can fill out an application. We have talent awards for students who are interested in art or music. That's $750 usually annually. And then that would be just evaluating either your portfolio or an audition at time of acceptance. And then if you are a transfer student, if you're a part of PTK, Phi Theta Kappa, that's $1,500 if you're a member of that honor society through either your previous school, which could be obviously a community college or a 4-year. And then I just wanted to mention that 75% of our incoming freshmen, they get a scholarship that's worth more than half of their tuition. So we do offer very competitive scholarships. And then, like I said, coupled with our financial aid, we are able to offer affordable financial aid packages to all of our students. Some of the next steps that we offer for our students who are interested in maybe coming to campus, or maybe if you don't feel comfortable, we are offering virtual appointments. So you can schedule that on our website. We also have admission info nights, which are very similar to what we're doing right now. A personal appointment, you would meet with either me or Maria via phone or video chat, whatever you're more comfortable with. As of right now, our open houses will still be virtual. So if you're interested in signing up for one of those, you would just get information via email, and then be able to participate in both live, and then you kind of get like a module and you can work through that at your own pace. We are on Instagram, on Marywood University's Instagram page every day at 4 p.m. So if you had any questions, you could feel free to submit them. And then, like I mentioned, in person, we are doing visits and tours Monday through Friday and some select Saturdays. We are limiting Monday through Friday appointments to 1 family per time slot. And then Saturdays are 2 families per time slot. So we're really obviously adhering to social distancing and making sure that we are paying attention to the CDC guidelines and trying to reduce the amount of people on campus at one time. But obviously we would love to have you in person, or if you're not comfortable with that, then a virtual tour would be the next best thing. And then we would open it up for any questions if anybody might have any questions right now. I mean, I have one, Carson and Lexi, if you want to answer. I always think that this is a good question for really anybody to hear and hear your answer, but what is like some advice that you would give to a junior or senior in high school who are like, they're looking at colleges and maybe they don't know what to do? There's a lot of colleges to choose from. So if you want to just, share some advice about that kind of process and the college search.
Yeah. My number one is always make sure you feel comfortable on the campus that you're going to choose. Obviously, cost factor is definitely something that students look at, and making sure that like their academic program is on that campus as well. But you definitely want to make sure that you are comfortable and happy with the campus that you choose, because that will end up being the place that you stay for the next 4 years. I don't know too much about transferring, but thankfully I don't need to, because as soon as I stepped on Marywood's campus, knew that that was a place for me, and I felt immediately comfortable. Everyone was so friendly and welcoming. So that was something that I think that I'm very grateful for that I found. And I think that's always been my piece of advice is, make sure that you are happy and comfortable with the place that you are choosing.
Yeah, so kind of the same thing that Lexi had said. I know for me personally, Marywood was the only school I applied to, and thankfully I got accepted. But definitely find a place that you think that is going to help you grow as a person. Like Lexi said, like obviously being comfortable and feeling that you're safe in a school, and obviously cost factor is a big thing for people. But find a place where you think that you're going to be challenged, not only as like a person, but like challenged in your major, challenged in the work that you do in your field. Because you don't want to sit back and like watch the 4 years of college just blow by because you didn't like challenge yourself and you didn't want to be a leader and you didn't want to get involved. And I think that's definitely another thing is like definitely get involved in anything and absolutely everything you can while you're in college. Take risks, explore new things, even if you think that you really aren't going to like them or you really are going to like them. Sometimes things change. And definitely be true to yourself. I think that's a really important thing when you're picking a school is be true to what you think is going to make you comfortable. And don't let anybody really sway your opinion on that, because that'll help you in the long run.
So I actually thought of a question for you guys to answer. So what is your favorite Marywood memory?
My favorite Marywood memory is kind of corny, but at our freshman orientation, I actually met my freshman roommate, and she's actually still my roommate now 4 years later. But I'm eternally grateful for meeting her and having the opportunity to meet her at Marywood. So that is my favorite memory, but I think kind of going along with that as well is in having the memory of meeting all of my other best friends who I'm eternally grateful for as well.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. So my favorite Marywood memory is definitely rushing my sorority, Zeta Phi Delta. I have been having a really hard time my freshman year, kind of adjusting and making friends because I was very shy in high school. And I got to meet my big, is what a sorority term is. And it's basically like your mentor in the sorority. And she's my absolute best friend in the whole entire world. And she just got married a couple weeks ago, and I had the opportunity to be in her wedding. And I really have found my lifelong friends at Marywood, similar to what Lexi said. And I'm very grateful because I never thought I would have that.
So I just have one more question, Maria, if you don't have anything else. I mean, I know you both kind of touched on this a little bit, but what made you choose Marywood? Like, obviously, I know that you came for your programs because you're both in computer science and interior architecture. So I know obviously that's why you're here, but can you just talk about a couple things, that maybe swayed your decision to come to Marywood?
So again, that comfortable factor kind of was something that immediately made me realize as soon as I stepped onto campus. From visiting other schools, I was not as comfortable on campuses as I was at Marywood. So that welcoming factor definitely was something that played a role. Another thing, and it seems like a little detail in the long run, but something that I think really, really swayed me was actually the dorm rooms at Marywood. I was not really looking for a school where I had to share a communal bathroom. So suite style bathrooms at Marywood was something that immediately drew my attention, and I really liked that. And just the rooms in general are very nice. The dorms are really nice. So that was definitely something that also played a role into it. And I'd say the third biggest impact is the closeness to home for me. I was very much a homebody in high school, and I was sort of afraid for moving away from my family. And Marywood's only about 40 minutes from my parents. So it was really nice because I knew going into it that if I needed to go home or I felt like I wanted to go home, I had that option, but I still had the opportunity to have typical college experience by staying away at school.
So for me, definitely one thing that was really important was obviously researching and understanding like what I wanted out of a school. I wanted to go to a small school mainly because I didn't want to be a number. I wanted to be a name, which I think is something really important. And something that Marywood prides himself on is that when you come here, you're not a number, you are a name. And another thing for me was I had the opportunity to do an overnight visit that Marywood has to offer. And obviously with restrictions right now, we cannot offer them, but I got to do an overnight visit with a very, very nice girl who influenced my opinion to come to Marywood. And I got to meet a lot of her friends, and she took me like to Marywood events, took me to the dining hall, and I really got to experience life as a college student for a day, even though I was in high school. And actually a lot of the girls' friends that I got to meet were Marywood, they had just graduated from Marywood, and they were like admissions ambassadors, they were involved in student government. So I really got to see like a full on behind the scenes of what life was like. And I think that's really important too, because yes, college is stressful, and like the process to get into college is very stressful, but being able to see what it's like when you're in college and you're on the college campus was something that I'll never forget, and definitely made me want to come to Marywood.
Awesome. So I think that will wrap everything up. We will just leave you here with our social media handles that you can reach out to us on. Obviously, our email and our phone number are there. And then, like I said, you'd be working with Maria and I, so we will get your message. But thank you so much for coming to our presentation tonight. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I'm just going to share my screen real fast and thank everyone for coming. We really appreciate it. Just a reminder, there we go. There's a quick survey. If you don't mind filling out that quick survey, sign up for some more sessions, and it's recorded so you can come back and watch it again. So have a great night, and thank you again, panelists. Bye, everybody.